Hey everybody, how's it going? Okay, this is the first episode of Bowwars for the 2017 archery season. My name's Nathan Parker, and I'll be your host slash hunter for this little expedition that we're doing this year. As I said, it's 2017. Our early season was really going pretty slow. We weren't getting a lot of bucks on trail camera. We did get an 11 pointer that ended up popping up, and a few basket 8 pointers and such, but this first hunt is going to be possibly one of the best hunts that I've ever been on. And not because we shot a gigantic monster buck. It's because it is my daughter Gabriella's first hunt that she was successful on. And as a father, it was possibly one of the best ones that I've done. Just the emotions in the blind and everything. So I hope you enjoy this first hunt. Well, here we are, Gabriella Parker's first hunt ever. It's inline muzzleloader season for does. So we gotta wear some orange here, but we're in a blind in the thick patch. We got 10, 15 mile an hour winds that are moving through, but we got good wind for this stand. So she's here with her crossbow. We're hopefully gonna try to get it. It's gonna be chaotic in the stand, but we'll see how it goes. Are you excited?
You're not excited about shooting deer? Yeah, I know. Silly girl. Now you know the target. So you're gonna wait till the deer gets broadside and shows you the double lungs. Okay, so
Alright, so we got into the blind, and it's a blind that I've been putting in for about 2 months before the season even started. So we got in the blind. She's eating her peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We're having fun. We're just sitting there playing around. We're admiring the nice pair of shoes that she decided to wear in the stand. And all of a sudden, we look up, and here's a deer coming into the one and only shooting lane. All we need to do is wait for it to get broadside. Yeah. Good. Okay, listen.
baby, you shot your first deer. Yes. Good job, baby. I am so proud of you. Good job. That was a big doe. Smoked her.
What I'm laughing at.
Awesome, baby. Here, let's put that down. What do you think, Ella?
Steal.
You did shoot your first deer. That was a good shot, too. It looked like you hit the lungs. That was awesome. Good job, baby. That's your first bow hunt. I'm so proud of you. Awesome.
No, I don't need to wear this hat anymore. I shot my first deer, a big doe.
You did shoot a big doe. You're right here in this blind here. And
We waited for hours and hours.
we waited there, and she did a great job. And luckily, a doe came down. Actually came in front of the trail camera that shoots video. And
So we finally got it.
we finally got it. All right, let's go see that area.
Can you help? Like, with it?
Let me hold that for you.
Yeah, that's Oh.
So, next day, I found Ella's doe. Had it in the back of the truck. I ended up picking her up from school, and we told her I was going over to my buddy's house real quick just to get something, and then we're coming back and to look at her deer. She's thinking that it's at home. It's really in the back of my truck, and I decided to sneak it on her, that it was right back there, so I had to play a little prank on her.
You thought I left it at home, didn't you?
Ow! Don't throw it! My name is Ella, and I shot my first deer. Oh.
And how was it cold outside?
No.
It wasn't cold at all?
Hot.
Was it hot? What'd you shoot it with? Your what?
My crossbow.
You shot it with your crossbow?
At least it's blood.
Excellent. And what kind of shot did you put on it?
Lung.
A lung shot? Yep, that was good. And do you know how far it ran?
What?
Only 15 yards after we stopped looking for it. So it didn't go that far. That's a nice doe you got there, Ella. So do you like the hunting thing?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you do. Excellent. Well, I'm proud of you. Well, here it is. You know what? I've shot some really nice deer over the years. I've shot some decent bucks. I've shot some big does. But you know what? I would give every one of those things up just for this deer right here. This is my daughter Gabriella's first ever deer that she shot. And she put on a great hit. Took the lungs out. She actually only went about 15 yards past where we stopped looking last night, but I just knew that it was a little high, so I didn't know if we caught the liver or the lungs, but we caught the lungs. And she was just 15 yards from where we stopped looking, but couldn't have asked for a better hunt last night. A cool front has moved in here, so it was crazy warm, and we knew that the deer were moving through this area. It's a blind that I put in at the beginning of the season, probably 2 months before the season even started, just so the deer got acclimated to that blind. And we cut a trail through there that they'd come out. We planted a food plot, but fortunately the food plot really didn't take that well. But last night we put some curiosity doe scent out, and this deer ended up coming in 20 yards. Ella put a great shot on. And actually tonight we're jumping back in the tree stand. We're going to go after some bucks now, and I'm just so proud as a father. This is exactly the feeling. If I could bottle this up, I'd make $1 million. But I'm so proud of you. You did such a great job. Love you. And
all right, well, I got my daughter's doe on the ground. That was one of the missions of the 2017 season. Now we are going, and you're going to be jumping in with the stand with us. We're going after some mature does.
all right, well, here we are. It is hot, hot, hot. It's about 86. They say it's 86 degrees, but it really feels like just 90 out. It's getting to be very sticky and warm, but we're gonna head out there. We're gonna see what we can see moving. I have a trail camera on the corner, so I'm gonna replace an SD card in there, and then we can kind of see what these deer are doing. Last night I was up at my buddy's place. We drove by this field and there were deer in it at the prime time of that last half hour of light. So we're going right on that field. We're going right on a tree stand that is right on that field. So I am excited, can't wait to get in the woods, even though it is bleeding hot out. So, but hey, I ended up staying out of the tree stand yesterday, but the wind is supposed to be good for this stand, so as long as the wind's good for it, I'm gonna go in there. So hope everybody's getting out tonight. we'll see what happens.
All right, well, here we are. We just got in the tree stand now. It's a little late. It's almost about 4:45. But we're on a green alfalfa field. It's 86 degrees. We got a wind coming from the field, blowing into the woods. We're expecting it here to come from this side. Every time that the wind blows across the field coming into here, they come out on this little corner here and pop out 10, 15, 20 yards. Last night I was visiting a friend, and I drove by and I saw deer in the field, and it was right at that lower light, last half hour light. They were already in the field, so we're expecting them to do it today, even though it's 86 degrees. It's still hot, but deer were still moving. We ended up pulling a trail camera off the corner here. We're gonna go take that back. We're gonna see tonight if there's anything moving, but tonight's a good chance that we might get another crack at a big doe. So we're just gonna stay tuned and watch and listen to the chestnuts falling all over the place. I'm kind of moving off of the other area that I shot my big doe earlier because I don't want to take any more does off that property. This one, I'll take a doe off of, so that's why I chose to come here. But Thursday, it's supposed to cool down. We're going to be back in that spot looking for that 8-pointer. So, stay tuned. It's nice out. tree stand until it starts to get dark, just so we don't bust any of the movement out here. That was great. Great hunt. The doe just came right out of the corner here with two smaller ones. They fed around here. I got a trail camera that records video, and it's down there, and I was trying to get on her, but she just would take one or two nips and then stop, one or two nips and then stop, and she would walk the entire way. So I couldn't get on her with the camera and then draw up because she was out of the frame. So luckily there was another doe that came out of the back field here. When she came in, they looked at each other. They paused and gave me that time. I had to lean over a little bit to scoot past the camera. But I could hear that deer crashing through. I mean, I could hear right through, crash down. About 4 seconds, 5 seconds of quietness, and then I could just hear a little crack, and then that was it. So, the deer just pile drive right in there. But I'm gonna go look at it and see how that shot was. It looked pretty good. Looked like took out both lungs. So check it out.
All right, here it is, the morning after the hunt. Last night we had a great time in the woods. It was about 86 degrees. It was pretty hot. Reason I chose to hunt that stand is because the alfalfa is high in moisture, and these deer are coming in there getting some moisture, a food source that has moisture in with it. But as you saw, we had deer all around us the entire night. Fortunately, no big bucks decided to show up, but we're actually after another doe, trying to get the big does out of the way until the pre-rut starts in some of our properties. But she played the script. She came in right. Luckily, that other doe popped out on the other side of the field and actually held her attention there because I was moving the camera. She just kind of bend down, feed, take 2 steps, bend down, feed, take 2 steps. So she was moving out of the camera frame. And sometimes with solo cam hunting, that's the one thing you got to look at. But luckily, she was ended up stalling out, looking at that doe for a little bit, and it got us an opportunity to take a nice shot at the deer. Shot was a little bit far forward. You know, I was aiming over here, but I was leaning over to the tree stand trying to move around the camera. I might have pulled it a little bit forward, but luckily we blew right through it. I mean, we're shooting heavy arrows. We're shooting 125 grain tips on a 70-pound bow, and blew right through the shoulder blade, went through the heart, went through the lungs. So, you know, and then actually I think it broke the other side of the leg. So, you know, she only went about 60 yards, and then we found her. She crashed down pretty fast. So. But an absolute beautiful, mature whitetail doe again, and couldn't be any happier. This is number 2 for this year, and it's been a great early season. We're putting meat in the freezer, and that's what it's all about. But just an absolute beautiful whitetail doe here in Pennsylvania. So hope you're enjoying some of this footage. So we decided to change a little stuff out. We ended up deciding to get off of the alfalfa after harvesting that doe, get back into the Oak Ridge and see if we can find some acorns. Luckily, we ended up finding a few acorns. We decided to pop up in the stand, and we'll see how it goes.
All right. Finally, I'm able to do an interview. Seriously, it's like the day of bad luck. get to the place, pull up, forget my camera bag, forgot my boots at the house. Drive back, pick everything up, come back in here, everything's going good. Get up to where I want to be, and my valise falls out of my pocket, lands on the ground. It's a rough day. Finally just got up here. It's 92, 95 degrees in the sunlight. It's just bleeding hot. But I've been watching. People are shooting bucks. So today just required a lot more work. But we're up now. I got my ice pack on. Trying to cool my body temperature. It's really nice in Oak Flat right here. Oak trees are around. They're dropping acorns. There's fresh acorns on here. So hopefully this is a spot. I expect these deer to come up at the top of this knoll here, come down through, meandering, feeding. But we'll see how it goes.
I'm going to take a little second just to interrupt this hunt, just to say, with early season, we've always found that if you can get on a food source that has acorns, please do so, because if it's a nice crop of acorns, those deer will definitely hit it, especially if it's in the cover. They'll come early, and here we had a few yearlings pop down, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. The yearlings pop down because eventually the mature does are going to be right behind it.
ladies and gentlemen, how it's done. Really nice doe. Nice doe. Came up here on top of the ridge here, and a yearling came down feeding underneath me for 45 minutes or so. Then 2 more yearlings came down. I can tell because they had the spots just right along the spinal cord. Patience pays off. All of a sudden, big doe comes right down here. Gives me 10-yard shot. My wind is perfect going this way. There's a cul-de-sac right there. Oh man. I am freaking pumped. That's what you call sending an arrow ahead. Awesome. Just awesome. That was a good shot. There was a few twigs in the way, but I just skimmed just the backside of those twigs. Dropped her, hit her hard too. And you can see that arrow just in there. I think it probably hit the off shoulder, went through the off shoulder. Excellent. These acorns are the hot ticket. Right. Well, it's been about an hour and a half after we shot that doe. We just stayed up in the tree stand. Didn't want to get down. Because we're going to be hunting this spot on Saturday morning. So, I didn't want to bust out the spot or anything like that. I wanted to let all the movement kind of go by. So what I'm going to plan to do is, it's going to get dark, probably another half an hour. I'm going to climb down, and I'm going to back out. I'm going to give it 1-2 hours or so. It's on the warm side, so I'm not letting the deer overnight. But what I want to do is I want to just make sure all the deer that are bedded in this bedding area here funnel out to the fields. And then I can come in, grab the deer, get it out of here, try not to disturb as much as possible. But I've seen 8 yearlings and they've been all browned out. So you can barely see just a little bit of spots along their spinal cord. But I'm just wondering why there are so many yearlings. And usually the does are with the yearlings even now. But all the yearlings are by themselves. So I'm wondering if the pre-rut, the search phase, is going to happen early this year.
Well, here she is. It's the morning after the hunt. Last night was an amazing hunt. Got in there. It started off horribly. Me forgetting my camera bag, my boots, everything at home. Had to drive back. Got to the top of my climber, up in the tree, and dropped my release down at the bottom of the tree. So, and with the 83-degree weather, it was pretty miserable there in the tree stand for a little bit. Finally, we got to cool down, and everything seemed to go pretty good. This was a spot, there's a bunch of mature does that are running through this property, but what we wanted to do was just go after one of them, and that's what we wanted to do, and we succeeded. We saw a lot of yearlings going through the area. They were feeding on acorns. The acorns were the destination food source that they were going to up on that ridge, but just an absolute beautiful big-bodied doe. And gonna put some early season meat in the freezer, that's for sure. But just a beautiful doe, glad to harvest her. She only ran about 80 yards and that was it. The shot was a low lung and then off heart on the off side. So just happy to get her out, and it's gonna be warm today, so we're gonna butcher her up real quick. And we didn't want to wait till the morning. We didn't want the meat to spoil, but it was a little bit cooler last night in the shade and everything, but we actually got her out at about 10 o'clock last night. But just an absolute beautiful big-bodied doe. Can't wait to get back in the tree stand again and go after a buck now. But just absolute beautiful, beautiful doe. I praise these doe, shooting a doe as much as shooting a buck, just because in this spot, it's next to a highway, and the deer that bed there realize that sound is non-existent when you can hear the traffic the entire time, and their eyesight and their nose just seems to increase even just a little bit more. I've been in numerous occasions where these mature does were just all over me. With a ridge like that, sometimes you have a swirling wind. I hunt down at the bottom a little bit more, and the winds tend to swirl even more there. And just getting one of these mature does within 10 yards is a feat of itself. Last night we had the perfect wind in our favor, and we were on the acorns. We recognized that was the food source that they were going to. That oak ridge right there was just littered with fresh acorns, and that's what those deers were coming that's what the deer were coming after. So just absolute beautiful doe, starting to look good here in the 2017 archery season, that's for sure. But stay tuned. Hopefully we're going to throw a few more hunts your way, and we're going to be getting back in the tree stand again on Saturday morning. So we'll see you in the woods.
Welcome back. It's Monday, second week of archery season here in southeastern Pennsylvania. What we're doing is we're overlooking an alfalfa field. We got a southwest wind coming across there. Every time we have a southwest wind that come across this field, the does and the deer pop right out of this corner here and feed off into the alfalfa. Our wind is blowing right into this thick patch here. Since I've hunted it, not too much comes out of this thick patch. They all come back from a bedding area over there, but they do meander through and just pop out of this corner so they can get a face full of wind when we come up. Tropical Storm Nate just went through, and I figure, hey, if they named a storm after me, maybe there'll be a storm of blood tonight. But we're looking for one specific doe, an 8-pointer and an 11-pointer on this. That is the hit list deer tonight. But the sun has popped out a few times, but it's getting a little cloudy, a little overcast. So we're expecting some early movement tonight, so stay tuned because it's going to happen at any time. So I got the RPM in my hand. It's game time. That's good. Very good. ladies and gentlemen, is how it is done. Can't believe that. Didn't see anything all night long. This front came in, and it's starting to rain right now. But luckily, I don't care because my doe is right in the alfalfa field. But it's just great, awesome, very nice. So the big doe that I was after is down. We're not seeing that much buck movement. I thought we would see deer movement earlier just because of the rain, but lower light conditions. Luckily, I was on the field. Got a good hunt out of it, especially on film. Gave her 22-yard double lung shot, and she was just pouring blood out. And she did like a full-blown nosedive, high-speed nosedive. Right in the field. She made it 50, 60 yards in an open run. That's when you know you got good equipment. And man, is this Bowtech freaking slinging these arrows out. But there's still a big doe and some yearlings still in the field. But this stand is phenomenal. It's right on the corner where they come out because the wind's coming in across here. They come out here and they walk right 20, 30 yards all the time. Right here. We got meat in the freezer. Yes, I'm stoked. It's number 3. Mature, big does for this year. This has been my best year for mature does. I got one more doe tag. And I'm saving that for my daughter because she's going on mentored youth, and I can transfer my doe tag here. So does are just in the field there, just scoping around. I'm gonna wait till they get out of here. I don't want them to see me coming down out of the stand because anytime they come out of here, for some reason I've shot so many does out of this corner stand because they do not look up. If you noticed around me, I got this brush, so when they come out, they can't really see me that much until they get in that field. But I can see them through it. So it's a perfect spot. It's about 25 feet off the ground. And like I said, I always look for that wind. That was the main factor here. Yes.
All right, it's the morning after the hunt. We got this doe last night. It was about 6:30 that we shot her. She came out of the corner of the field and she read the script exactly how we wanted them to come out that night. With that southwest wind coming across that alfalfa field, we knew that it was a great stand to go in there. And again, this literally, I think, is my biggest doe that I've ever shot. She is absolutely huge. She got that dark mane to her, dark face to her. Her body size is just awesome, to say the least. As I said, the Rage hypodermic did its job, split her open. We got a lung shot, checked the heart, and there was a slice, almost sliced the heart in half. She only went about 50, 60 yards and crashed right over, but just an absolute beautiful, super mature whitetail doe. And this is the third mature doe that we've harvested so far this year. We're not all harvesting them on the same property. The reason we're going on this one property is because of the deer damage on that property. So the kind of the agreement is that we need to take out some deer out of that for the permission to hunt. So that's what we're kind of doing here. You know, the other property we're letting the does go because the pre-rut is going to be starting to kick in here in a little bit, and we want those mature does to become an attractant to bring those decent, especially the mature bucks. Will always usually, the bigger does will go into estrus on more of a regular time. So hopefully
that group of does that we have at that other property will. We've only taken one doe out of there so far. She was a big mature doe, but there's a bunch of other does running around there. We're staying out of that spot, but just an absolute beautiful whitetail doe. And like, you know, we put a lot of effort in just even after the hunt and stuff like that with the trophy photo of a doe and so on and so forth, because we automatically respect these deer that we harvest. This one, I mean, just, you know, we've been going after mature does this year, and we've been very lucky so far. This is probably one of our best years for shooting big mature does. And the wind is, we're playing the wind just right and using our scent elimination, but still playing that wind is a big factor. And also knowing where the deer herd comes in and out of that field on the different types of winds. That's always something too. But she just played the card right, and man, we got her double lung. I mean, a single lung, as I said, hard shot. She didn't run that far, but she is absolutely huge. And I'm so excited to harvest this deer. So excited. This actually deer was the #1 on our hit list for our does. We've been looking at our does, and we got, you know, some smaller ones that people could mistake for 1.5-year-old does, but they're actually button bucks. So, you know, letting them come up close and you could really identify them. And this one was one that we identified that we wanted to take out, and we ended up doing it last night. So yeah, just a great, absolute great hunt, and can't be any higher. #3 for us so far this year. So we're excited.
All right, well, here we are. The pre-rut has just started. But unfortunately, I haven't seen much of anything moving. But we're in this thick patch. And I got some scrapes down here. I got a scrape right underneath my tree. I put some doe estrus right at the scrape. I got a trail camera that's sitting right there. We're just gonna stay in and see what goes on. There's a nice buck. Coming down.
All right, well here, as you see, the best thing about videoing your hunts again is the ability to replay the shot. I sat there in the stand after shooting this buck and replayed this on my camera. Definitely wanted to see where the shot was. You could see that the buck moved forward just a hair because I didn't stop it, and made the shot a little bit back, but he ran away. He was stoved up 40 yards. He just sat there, laid down, and that's what we know. We got to give him some time.
That's a beautiful sunset. Been watching for the past 2 hours, and his head hasn't lifted. So I think we're good. Alright, well, here he is. He's a low-tide 8-pointer. He ended up busting off his one side. This came in about 16, 17 inches, 16 inches wide, maybe 15. It's a huge body. That is gonna be a lot of meat right there. Just played exactly what we wanted to. Happy man right here.
All right, well, here he is. It's the morning after, and we got him last night. He ended up bedding up right where we said he was. The wind's picking up here a little bit, but just an absolute beautiful buck. He came in, did exactly what we wanted him to do. He read the script. We actually got trail cameras of this buck. We call them low tines because he got real short tines, but he got these sweeping main beams that come out. He ended up busting. I didn't even see. I mean, he came in so fast trying to get the footage and everything. He ended up busting off his G2 right here, but just absolute great buck. You know, typical buck for Pennsylvania, especially with the antler restrictions, are these basket 8-pointers, but he just came in, and that sweeping main beams caught my attention when he came in, and he has a absolute huge body on him. But as you can see, he got busted off there, but just a beautiful buck. Glad to put my tag on him, and hopefully we're going to get a few more buck down in the next 2 weeks because it is not even November yet. So we're excited to get out there and get some more footage, but hope you guys enjoyed this hunt. It was nice to see the movement. He was coming down on a scrape that was underneath the tree stand, and we've been looking and monitoring that with the trail camera. Saw that he was coming in and a few other bucks were coming in, but most of the movement still through that area is nocturnal yet. But we have had a few smaller racked bucks walking through there at in the morning time, but he came in, sweeping main beams caught my attention, and we put a rage right through him. As a video buck, can't ask for anything better than that, getting good footage of him and then catching him run away. I hit him a little bit back. I didn't stop him. You know, usually I and stop him, but unfortunately there was no meh. I thought he was going to be stopped there for a second, and I drew back, and right when he did, he took a 1 step forward, hit him a little hair back, but he ran off. He went only 35, 40 yards away and just stood there stoved up for a little bit, laid back down, and within a few minutes he was out. But absolute beautiful, beautiful Pennsylvania buck. And now I'm really looking at Ohio right now, hitting that main rut time in November, pre-rut searching time in November. But here he is.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the first episode of our 2017 season. It is Halloween, so happy Halloween, everybody. And we're going to get out hopefully tomorrow. We're going to hit the woods again, start hitting the woods hard and trying to lay down some more footage for you. So hopefully we're going to have an episode 2 coming very soon. But I hope you enjoyed these hunts. Thanks for watching Bow Wars.